Tonight's demo is all about backlit clouds, okay? And so I'm going to be sharing with you how to create my version of backlit clouds. So I've got my picture up in front of me and I have a prepared canvas, and we are going to get to my overhead camera and get started. So I have another 10 by 10 canvas. This is a gallery wrapped canvas. And I have pre-base coated this with Look at Me Blue. Okay, so it's another different color that I like to use for skies. You'll note that I have been, throughout this month of demos, I've been sharing with you different colors you can use for skies. And this one is a little bit different shade of blue. So this is Look at Me Blue. And then we have Wicker White. I'm going to put these colors out. So Wicker White, Look at Me Blue. Don't need a lot of these colors because the background's already on. I'm going to put a little bit of Yellow Ochre out, and also a little bit of Daffodil Yellow. Okay, and then finally, this is Classic French Gray. All right, so this gray, so if you look at, I'm going to show you the picture reference that I'm using. All right, this is the reference picture. And notice the clouds here, right? See all the yellow in these clouds because the sun is shining up through them. All right, you're going to see some of those spectrum colors, and this one happens to be yellow. But I want you to also notice that the density of the clouds is what's causing the gray color in them to show, because they're so dense that the sunlight doesn't come through those thicker areas. Okay, so then you see shadows. The clouds are creating shadows on their own. And then you have this area right here where the light is bursting through a break in the clouds. So I am going to attempt to emulate that look, okay? First of all, first I do need some floating medium out as well. So let's put some of that out, and I put it in a cubby so it doesn't flow all over my paint here on my plate, okay? All right, I think we're ready to start. So I'm going to be working with my mop brushes again. These are the 3/4 inch and the 1/2 inch super soft white natural hair mops. These are goat hair mops. You can get these on my website. You can also get them on onestroke.com. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to actually put in those rays of light coming up out of that opening. Okay, so I'm going to use my big mop. This is the 3/4 inch, not the super big mop, but the bigger mop. Okay, so I'm going to load that with some medium, and I'm going to get just a little bit of white. All right, and I'm going to work that into that medium in that brush. Okay, and so here is where that light, this I've kind of sketched out. Let me move this over. There we go. So I've kind of sketched out where that brighter color opening is going to be, and then I've got some pencil mark sketches in here of where the layers of clouds are going to be. Remember last week I showed you how to kind of sketch out the geometry of these clouds. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this medium loaded brush, and coming right from this, where this opening is, I'm going to start to sweep out in straight lines. Okay, angled straight lines. Now that's not visible enough, so I'm going to add a little more white, but I want to be real careful. See, that's really, really visible. So I want somewhere in between. There we go. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to sweep, sweep, but they have to be straight lines. Do not let them curve at all. So coming straight from this, it's almost like you're treating it, if we're painting a flower, this would be our flower center. All right, and so we're going to pull these up, and now we're going to start to work our way around. All right, so here I'm adding more of those rays, and notice these have, as the medium has dried, these have faded out. All right, so these aren't supposed to be real strong, okay, but just keep remembering your center is here. I'm going to grab some more of that white with the medium. All right, now that's really strong. So I'm going to take a little medium into my brush, and we'll go back over that, and when it dries, it won't be quite so strong, okay? Okay, so we're going to have just a few more. So I come back to this center. That helps me remember where the rays are coming from, just so I don't get kind of lost and mess up the direction of my strokes. So I'm going to strengthen these a little bit, add a few more in between, and I think that'll be good. And this should mute down. If I wipe off and maybe just get a little more medium, I'm starting to get concerned about this one, so I just want to make sure it's more transparent when it dries, okay? So it looks like a lot right now. Okay, so the question is, will you have a traceable for the clouds? I don't provide patterns, guys, for my demos. They're demonstrations, and I sketch this out the way I want to see it. You sketch it out the way you like to see it, okay? So if you really need to have a trace pattern, when this video goes up on my YouTube channel, you can take a snapshot, a screenshot of the finished painting, and save that, print it, and trace it, and you can create your own pattern. But these free lessons, I don't provide extra materials for. Sorry. Okay, I think that's in. I think that's where I want that to be. And now I'm ready to work on the base of the clouds, okay? So first thing I want to do is kind of set the bottom colors and then start to work my way up with the lighter shades. So I'm going to take more medium on this brush, and I'm going to get some of this Look at Me blue and some of the gray. This is classic French gray. So blending that with the blue is going to bring it into the tone of the sky. All right, and I'm going to just come in with, I want to kind of pounce that out so I can spread out those bristles first. But I'm going to come in here, all right, and start to get the shape of these darker areas of the clouds. So coming down here, I want to have some of that gray and blue, but I'm really going to bring in more of the ochre based on the picture. A little bit of white maybe. I want this a little more opaque, right? That's better. So I'm just tapping this on. Okay, just getting the overall area of it in the gray tone with the blue, gray, and a little bit of white. Okay, so coming over here, and what we're going to do is once we get this shape put in, then we'll come in and start adding and defining the various layers. Okay, so you're just kind of getting the overall surface of this based in. Okay, so having this put in place, I think we're in pretty good shape. I want to put a little bit up here and here. Okay, now, question is the mop better than the scruffy? For this type of cloud, yes. It's my preferred brush, and I'm very happy to use it. All right, so now what I want to do is I'm going to start toning some of this but with the yellow ochre, but keeping in mind that this yellow is really, really strong because yellow ochre is a pure pigment, okay? So I want to first of all kind of tone that down a little bit with some white. All right, and then we're going to bring that gray in and keep that yellow tone in there. Okay, so down here we're going to get that kind of yellow glow coming around. All right, and I'm going to get a little bit of medium. There we go. All right, so if you look back at my my original photograph, you'll see the yellow showing up down here. I talked about that in the beginning. So I'm going to come and get a little more of that gray and keep the yellow on this tip, a little touch of white, and we're going to come right through here. Okay, so it's lighting up kind of the bottom edge of these clouds. Okay. All right, so now with this on my brush, I'm going to start to, let's get a little bit more. I'm going to start to define those breaks in the cloud. So right in here, and you can kind of sweep it, right? And then what's going to happen is we're going to come in here and create that front layer above that. Okay, and then right in here, actually there's a little more white in that with the gray. All right, so right in there. Okay, and then right here, and then up here. All right, so we're still just getting shapes. Nothing defined yet. And your clouds are going to look very different from my clouds, from somebody else's clouds, and it's all what our mind's eye sees. Okay, so now at this point I'm going to put that brush in some water because I'm going to work with the smaller mop for the rest of this. So the first thing I want to do is get this really bright center in here. All right, so I'm going to take some of this daffodil yellow and some white, because this is almost like blinding white, but there's a yellow tone to it. Okay. All right, so right in here, I'm going to create this area where the light is breaking through. All right, and then I'm going to add a little more white right on top of that. So you can start to see that's taking shape already. All right, wiping off the brush, but with that color still in it, I'm going to come and get some medium. because I want to use that color in the clouds around, but I want to make sure I don't have anything on the back edge of my brush. There we go. So I'm going to come right up in here. So now what I'm doing is I'm taking this brush and I'm pushing on the back corner, which I wiped all the paint off of that, and I'm just using the paint on the front corner of that. And so I'm going to use that to kind of push and shove up the edge of this cloud. And this is going to come right out around this. So the light is hitting that. We're going to come in here. Let me get a little more medium on the back edge of that. There we go. Now I want to get some gray on that back edge because I want to let those two colors come together. That's more like it. A little bit of white. All right, and we're going to let this come right down into where this light area is. And around it. So you're starting to kind of incorporate those clouds around it. I'm going to let that dry a little bit, and I'm going to work a little different area here. I'm going to get some more gray on the back corner of my brush and a little white on the front corner. There we go. You don't want to completely white it. You want it having just a little bit of yellow tint to it. So, and keep that gray on the back corner. I'm not adding any more blue to that gray because I'm afraid that I will end up with a green sky, and we don't want that. So medium, a little bit of white. There we go, coming around that. So I'm just retouching some of these white edges, and the light edges are on both sides. If you're on this side, it's on the left side of the cloud. If you're on this side of that light opening, it's on the right side. So I'm going to tip this just a little bit this way. Oops, lost my white. And we're going to come around this edge. Always back on the corner of my brush. So if you can see it, it's like this. And just the corner is laying that light edge, and the back end is the gray blending into that background. Okay. I'm going to get just a touch more yellow with the white. There we go. See how that's starting to come and show now, these edges of these clouds. So a little more white. So what's happening on all of these is the light is lighting up the edges where the vapor is the thinnest. Even way over here. Okay, now I'm going to reverse my brush. Remember, back in here, we're going to light up there. Oh, Allison, that's wonderful. makes me feel good when somebody listens to me. That's awesome. I hope you're enjoying it. Okay, and then right in here, a little bit of light coming around that edge. This is fun. I'm liking this now. I was worried because earlier today I just was not coming off my brush. Not the way I wanted it to. So to see the yellow tones and how those are making these clouds look like that sunlight is trying to get through, I'm going to come and get just a little bit of yellow, daffodil yellow with that gray now and work into these clouds with a light edge, with that light yellow. There we go. And the gray in the back. I'm going to get just a touch of white and work that in with the gray. So I got a lighter shade of gray. And we're getting layers here. I'm probably mangling these mop brushes, but this really gives me the look I want by working on this back corner and kind of scrubbing it out. Okay, medium. And I'm going to kind of slip slap now to give a lighter tone with the white and the gray into some of these cloud faces. There we go. Creating those layers. All right, so now that's the most important part, is getting around this light opening and then creating the layers closest to it. The rest of this can be kind of slip slapped in with hints of light towards the top and hints of yellow towards the bottom. See how that's working out? So, a little more yellow. So I'm pushing this yellow down towards the ochre. This is daffodil yellow, so it's going to be brighter against that ochre. And then I'm going to get a blend of that gray and white so that I can come right in between and kind of slip slap to get the depth, the lighter areas on the face of the cloud, like I did up here. Now down here I might go back for the yellow ochre a little bit. There. And then let me get a little medium. And I'm going to leave this kind of blue opening right in here. Right there. And then I'm going to come right here. And just kind of slip slap that around. So there's bits of blue showing through because this is all going on real thin. All right, and then we've got all this cloud happening. Different layers. All right, and let's just finish the bottom of this with a little bit of lighter yellowish fluff. Now I might just tap into a little bit of this Look at Me blue. See, I'm pouncing it to kind of blend. And I might, yeah, kind of spruce up some of those blue areas so they show up a little better. Little breaks in the clouds here and there. All right, now that's looking really gray, but I'm going to clean this. And I'm going to get as much water out of it as I can. All right, now I want to come back to my white. And here we're going to re-pounce that blinding white light coming through the break in the clouds. And then I'm going to tap into a little bit of the daffodil yellow around the edges. There. Okay, just to help that. Now that's a little vibrant. Let's tone that on the inside down just a little. All right, now coming back to some white with medium. There's this cloud that kind of sits right above it, behind it. And it's getting lit up right through there. And get my edges softened. There we go. Kind of behind it, you're seeing a little bit of blue. And that medium just pushes it back. And then I'm going to get just a tiny amount of gray with that medium, or with that white and medium. And I'm going to come right in the middle because it needs a little more gray. And the white. Right in the middle. There. Okay. And then we'll bring just a little bit of that white and yellow right up through here. Oops. Okay, so that's peeping around. Now, the last thing I want to do is I'm going to come get a flat brush. This is a 12 flat. I'm going to pick up medium and work that into the brush. And then I'm going to come and side load some strong white right through here. And we're going to do little floating ruffles around the edge of that yellow burst through the clouds. Okay, so you're kind of enveloping it, surrounding it on this edge and on that edge. So we're going to come around it here, come around it here, and we can even kind of come out into the middle of it right there with a little bit of gray on the inside. There. So if you don't like your clouds to be this gray in this type of setting, let me show you just one other thing before we finish this demo tonight. All right, I'm going to come in with that brush clean, and I'm going to get some medium and work that into my brush. And let's pick up, oh, no, not blue, not blue. work medium, and let's get some daffodil yellow. All right, lots of medium and yellow and maybe a touch of white. So what you can do here is come through in these areas where the breaks in the clouds are, and you can kind of sweep or wash over with this lighter color to open those up a little bit. All right, give them a little more of a daylight color. Right, little bits of that yellow, maybe a touch of gray, or even a touch of the blue. You have to be careful with the blue because it'll turn green on you, and you don't want green clouds. Those are storm clouds, right? So you can always come in with that, or you can wash over just white even with the medium. And what will happen is it's going to look really milky white here, but it'll dry more transparent, and it will brighten up these clouds a little bit. Okay, so those are some options. I think I like that better than putting blue in there. All right, but see how that light coming through there just really opens that up. Now I want to do one last thing, which is, I don't want to use that because it's wet. So I'm going to grab a 3/4 flat because I don't, my mop is all wet. But let me get some medium and some of this Look at Me blue with medium. So these rays that we put in here, we can now kind of sweep over with some of this blue, and it will brighten that up a little bit. Okay. See there, it's starting to add some character to those. Okay, and I think with that, I'm just going to do one last dive of medium here with a little bit of this white, and we're going to come right up over this right here. Okay, so it's breaking in front of that cloud that we put in the background. And there you go. So, backlit clouds have those light edges all around. If you feel like they're not light enough, you can always come in and come back with some stronger white like we did around here, because usually the edges are really bright. Okay. So my next demonstration, we're going to work on something similar, but it will be more of a sunset situation where we have different colors like pinks and purples and things like that in the clouds. So make sure you come back next time and check me out. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you get bold and brave and go out and give this a try. Just remember to work with a very little paint and your mop brushes at an angle, so you've got them with that nose sticking out there. Okay? Thank you, guys. I hope you enjoyed that.